thank you for bringing class to the show. Time now for Built for Success, presented by Ram Trucks. Who better to start the season than with talking about them Georgia Bulldogs? Bulldogs began the season ranked number 1, coming off back-to-back national championships, to third on the horizon. It hasn't been done since 1936, so history is not on their side. But even some key departures. Georgia's still the favorite, Caesars, with plus 230 odds to win it all. Now Gary's the only one not to be in suit and tie.
Stand for what's right, even if you're standing alone.
Sam Acho and Sacho here with us. Quick trivia question.
All right.
Who was the last team to three-peat as national champions back in 1936?
To three-peat. It wasn't Alabama. I'll go Notre Dame.
I'm going to go Michigan.
No. Minnesota Golden Gophers.
I knew it started with an M.
I said no. That's why I said. I said you said N. I said
exactly.
I went Notre Dame.
We kind of were like, the connective tissue was sort of there.
What was it again? He said Michigan.
Yeah, but
we were kind of working through the Minnesota.
No,
Minnesota. No, I said Minnesota.
I said Minnesota football segment.
Because
Row the Boat does play tonight against Nebraska. But Georgia, they're trying to get into that history. They've won 2 in a row. Stetson Bennett off to the NFL. We know they've lost some pieces. Carson Beck now the quarterback. Talk to me about this kid that came in with all kinds of expectations out of high school.
Well, that's the difference. So Carson Beck has so many expectations where that chip that was on Stetson Bennett's shoulder, as we know, never left him. And so, yes, there's high expectations. Yes, there's some transfer receivers. Yes, there's Brock Bowers. But what will you do when the lights are bright? That's the question that I have for Carson Beck. We know that Stetson Bennett, his coaches didn't really want him to be the quarterback. I mean,
they did.
Kirby Smart said that.
They didn't want him on the field.
Bingo. Yet he proved it over and over again. So when, let's say you struggle early. Let's say there's a little bit of that outside hate. Let's say there's a little bit of the inside talking. How will you handle that? How will you handle the criticism? How will you handle the noise? That's my biggest concern for the Georgia football team.
How does Kirby Smart and now his new offensive coordinators handle the production that affected they lost? Last time we saw them, they were only hanging up 65
That's a good point.
against
Todd Monken's
TCU.
Off to the NFL.
Yeah,
right?
A.D. Mitchell transferred to Texas.
So now what is Carson Beck doing? Now at this point, it's his offense, it's his team, it's his new playbook. How can Georgia sustain that offensive production?
I think part of it, too, is you just not trying to do too much early. I mean, I get it. Like, Stetson Bennett was a Heisman candidate, all those things. But there were times he was doing just way too much. You saw interceptions. You saw a couple questionable calls. But at the end of the questionable throws. But at the end of the day, he found a way to make it happen. Now, Carson Beck, what can you do when it comes to games like Florida, when it comes to games like Ole Miss? You know they're going to put up points. Like when you play Tennessee, will you be able to respond offensively? Or will it be turnovers? Will it be fumbles in the pocket? Will it be trying to press and too much pressure? Those are the questions that are still yet to be answered.
And you look at the schedule, and that's why a lot of people think their formula to success is the schedule, because it doesn't look too tough by SEC standards. But at some point, the departures have to catch up with Georgia. The NFL departures, the coaching staff departures, they've already won back-to-back national championships. What is the formula for success? Because at some point, that's got to get it.
It's not getting complacent, Matt. I mean, I think about last year. They almost lost to Missouri. I mean, there were some games you're saying, man, what is Georgia doing? It was on the fourth quarter. So you look at that. Then you look at the fact of the complacency piece. And you heard it from Kirby Smart. He said, man, the tough part about our team right now is that our seniors and juniors, all they know is national championships. And so what about the young guys? You come in, you think you're going to win automatically. You think maybe I could just roll out my helmet and we're going to be fine. And that's not the case. We were at the national championship game. I got a chance to watch them practice. Kirby Smart, during the week, was on their tails every single day. And that's going to continue to happen from the coaching perspective. But will the players feel a little bit entitled? These are top recruiting classes. I don't expect it. But now, we talked about it, the quarterback is different. Stetson Bennett never had an ounce of entitlement in his name, at least when it comes to football. Carson Beck, I'm not saying it's different, but the time will tell.
He's a 5-star. You go in as a 5-star.
Stetson Bennett walked on, bro. He walked on, he left.
Chased away 5 stars,
That's what I'm saying.
Sure.
I mean, Jacob Eads was a 5-star. He was out.
Sure. JT Daniels.
Right.
Aside from the complacency aspect, something tangible, who, what, or where potentially might trip up Georgia in their pursuit for a three-peat?
I think the trip up, you talk about trip up, it might be like, can the defense be as sustainable as it was before?
Sure.
Those will be the answers, right? Glenn Schumann, co-defensive coordinator, right? Will Muschamp. I don't expect a fall off. I don't expect to drop off at all from Brock Bowers.
Oh, I forgot they got that guy.
That's what I'm
Best
saying.
offensive weapon in the country, in my opinion.
No question. Bingo. So, that is going to be, he's going to be, he didn't want to come off the practice field.
He was 19 last year.
I'm telling you, dude, he wants to practice. He's like, dude, don't give me all the reps for practice. So I don't expect to drop off at tight end.
Sure.
I know there's some transfers at receiver. I just wonder defensively, you talked about all the guys that went to the draft, right? Guys like Nolan Smith, guys even like years before, it's
Kobe Dean. You got
Kobe
all those,
Dean. What will happen can you reload again and again and again and again and
Victims
again?
of their own success. Everybody wants to pluck from the success tree.
Yeah.
And you talk about tripping up and something that could get them. Let me give you this. The top 4 teams right now in the rankings, every one of them but Michigan has a question at starting quarterback.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. We don't know who Alabama's going to be.
Ohio
State named Kyle McCord.
Yeah.
We don't think that thing's done yet. Now the Georgia Bulldogs, they've got questions. You know who doesn't have questions?
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.